Hey everybody, welcome to the garden. I hope you're having a great day. Shout out to the lemon and lime lovers and everybody in between. It's time for the crypto market recap. Let's hop into these charts, see what the story is and what it may be. And remember, if you're interested in any of the services I provide, please check the links in the description below for both the Patreon and Discord. So this video, it's gonna be a little bit of a longer video because I want to first go over this day trade I took for the small account that I started for the free trial of the new service that's coming to the Discord, and then we're gonna hop into our swing trades. Bitcoin, Polkadot, Cardano, those three trades we've been in for quite some time, and then we recently opened up a swing trade on both Solana and Avalanche, so we'll go over those charts as well. And if I see anything else interesting, I'll add on other coins. So this video may be a little bit longer than the average, but firstly, let's start with Solana. I want to start with this. So this is the day trade scalping setup that I have. So if you've seen previous videos, you know. And you also should be aware, if you're part of the Discord, that I'm giving a 2-week free trial of this new service that's coming, and the 26th is going to be the last day. So this next week is the last week of the free trial before it goes behind the paywall, which will be $125 a month on the Patreon. Okay, I wanted to show this trade, so I got in at $36.475. Okay, I wasn't streaming when I entered, so I entered a bit earlier today. I just wanted to document it just so you know that I actually got in. So as you can see, entered 36.475. We're about plus $30 unrealized, and we've got the account just over $680. This was a $500 account last week. On Friday, we closed off the account at being, I think it was $619, $625, somewhere around there. And then later that day, I abruptly went live, and I did make a couple bucks there, about 20-30 bucks. We were around 640, 650 bucks at the time. And then with this trade, we're now, encroaching on 685, right? So, I wanted to just show you, if you tune in on Monday, which I recommend you should, you may see that the account value is more than it was on Friday. Okay. And I hopped into the trade, one, because it was a great trade and I happened to be in front of the charts, but two, I also want to go over exactly what I was seeing and explain that, always trust the charts no matter how strong other assets may look. You do want to trust what you're seeing, because Bitcoin at this time, all the way over here, was looking really powerful. It was looking like it was going to have a 4, 5, 6% day. But Solana was showing us signs that this was going to cool off, and it was reaching some pretty significant resistances on the smaller time frames. And there was definitely some burnout in the larger time frames. So I ended up taking the trade. Pretty much, as you can see, it's an ascending structure. So I always look for ascending structures to go short and descending structures to go long. That's how you wanna do it, at least in my opinion. So you have kind of like a broadening structure out. And so I ended up taking the trade off the 5-minute. So there was an entry here off the 5-minute. Pretty much saw this candle fail, and then I saw this rise up, and then this doji candle here is usually a clear topping sign. So I ended up taking that short right there, and luckily, just after about 15 minutes, we had a nice little pullback. I kept those trade open since, as I saw on the 1-minute. This was an ascending bearish structure that was forming, so I decided to be patient and I wanted to see if it'll play out. It broke down, and then it pretty much oscillated around the bottom part of the structure, which is fairly bearish in of itself. And now it's come down, and it's coming down towards an hourly level where it broke a descending pattern, and it's likely going to test this descending pattern's top part of the structure as support. And it also, if you notice, has confluence with this red line, which is the POC, the point of control, with the volume profile here. So there's a lot of confluence that could possibly be playing out here. So we just want to see, and it's also, I should mention, it's also the bottom of this ascending structure on the 5-minute. So we may see some more downside. This might be all that's going to be. But other than that, I just wanted to really highlight this trade for you. That way, if you do hop in on Monday and you're wondering why the account's different, I didn't deposit money. I just got into another trade, and so far, so good. Okay, so let's look at the swing trades we got in. So let me change the time frame to the daily. So Bitcoin will start with, as we can see, Bitcoin broke the short-term uptrend it's been in, and now it's approaching a general zone of support. I would not be surprised if we break down again, going towards 20,000. That is very, very likely. However, we may see more upside to test this level first, which is about 22,000, 21,800. If we get that denial there, then we're likely going to roll over and hit 20,000. And it will probably take a good amount of time for this level to break, but the probabilities will be on the side that this does break down. Okay, so we do have to be wary of that. As we are long, we've been long. We will be looking for add-ons as we've made profits from our other positions over the months. We can comfortably add on to this position as it approaches other levels. If it should break past 22k, then look for it to come all the way back towards 23.5 to 24,000 to test this rising rising diagonal trend line, okay, as resistance, pretty much as a retest of resistance and then another rollover. Okay, it's very unlikely we're going to see this actually break back into the structure and then take out this top pivot here about 25,000. It seems to have lost its momentum for that unless something changes over this next week, which this next coming week and 2 weeks is going to be a lot of policy heavy stuff. So we might see a change in the winds, but as of right now, just looking at the chart, the best we can hope for short term is checking this trend line as resistance and then an eventual rollover. Okay, off to Polkadot. So Polkadot's pretty interesting. So broke through the the ascending trend line, and now has hit a decent level of support. This is going to be a decent level of support, and as you can see, this daily candle closure is not bad, and it'll be very good looking if this daily candle can close above the wick of this daily candle. Again, that's not confirmed. There's plenty of time, about 3.5 hours, give or take, for this daily candle to close. But if that can happen, you have a potential short-term bottoming structure here that may lend us getting all the way back up towards 8 and change. Okay, so we do have some potential here, but as we go later into the day, we may get more selling. So keep that in mind as well. But Polkadot's holding a support level as expected. It did break through this ascending trend line much harder than I thought it would, but since it's done and it's come all the way down to this daily pivot level here, its bounce off of it is very healthy. Okay, we may also see bearish consolidation here, and this is the most probable path, by the way. So we'll see bearish consolidation, so kind of a grind up. That grind up can actually push all the way to this trend line and would still be bearish consolidation. Okay, but this will likely lead to a break of this level. So we really need to watch out for that, and Polkadot will really give us some interesting add-on levels, potentially. We do have to see how the futures will open up for the equity markets in just a couple hours here. So yeah, we'll keep our eye on Polkadot. Cardano. Very similar to Polkadot. This was even more bullish, potentially bullish candle, and as you can see, it's actually above that wick of its previous daily candle. So if it does have a close above, Cardano does show potentials of a short-term bottoming structure here that may not get all the way to this ascending trend line, as this is a very steep trend line, but easily can get back to 50 cents, and that's where it would likely find a lot of issues trying to get above. But I do like how Cardano is potentially looking. There are some interesting levels in regards to just a little bit lower that we might look to add on to Cardano, but this is particularly enticing. But I believe in Cardano we are actually still in the green even now, even after this drop. So if we are going to do add-ons to Cardano, I would like to see some more selling for sure, and definitely hitting lower levels. But other than that, it's interacted with this support zone as expected. Okay. And if it were to go lower, it's going to be pretty violent. We're probably going to see a 20-cent Cardano, and then possibly even lower. So if it does break under 39 cents, 40 cents, you can probably see a pretty big wash down to about 20 cents. All right, Solana, which we are, also in a swing trade. So Solana broke this rising structure, and this is the time to start accumulating as it goes lower, in my opinion, because it's very likely. So when you break, rising structures like this, the probabilities of a return to that structure is actually quite high. Okay, I love playing these moves. So pretty much you want to break in that structure, and then you want to start having key levels to where you want to add on to that asset, and then one of these levels, it's likely to have a pretty vicious bounce to either a major horizontal, in this case daily resistance, or that rising trend line, the bottom of the structure it had broken. That's usually a really high probable play. It tends to work out really well, and you tend to get a really nice percentage gain. That's how I get my 20, 30% movers, sometimes even 40% movers in crypto. So I began that move with Solana, starting to enter here, and Avalanche is next. Oh, and by the way, for Solana, all these pivot levels you see here are going to be somewhat support. So 34.68, 31.75, and then 30.79. So these are all. There's going to be a fairly decent support zone, and as you can see, it's already respecting this pivot here. So this is definitely going to be an interesting play if it does break past this daily pivot level, this horizontal pivot level at 38.1. It may get all the way back towards $40, maybe even 40 plus. So we have some opportunity here. And then Avalanche, similar to Solana, but there is a key difference. Broke that rising structure, but its daily support, its horizontal pivot here, was far closer to this rising structure than Solana. So what's likely gonna happen with Avalanche is a creep up under the structure, and that's actually quite bearish. If you go long off of this support, like kind of we did, it's good for us because we're still in the green with Avalanche because of our entry. But we do have to keep in mind that if it is going to creep under this structure, that eventually the probabilities are telling us it's going to break down to attempt to break under this level. So we're going to try and play this structure being built, this bearish structure being built, and then we'll sell as it gets to hopefully an attractive price, somewhere around $25 to maybe $26 if we're going to have a decent structure being built here. Okay. Is there anything else I want to go over? We'll take a quick look at Link, see if there's anything else. Link had a nice move, got to a decent level of, as you can see, decent level of confluence. I actually highlighted it here with the circle. Broke through, finally gave way and broke back under, and now it's come back to this descending trend line, and so far it's holding that descending trend line as support, which is not surprising. This descending trend line is extremely powerful for Link. I think I've mentioned it a couple times. As you can see, this guy is from its all-time high. It breaking out of it is quite bullish. It does have some bullish indication, and if it can hold this level and start a consolidation kind of coming out, or coming down like this, that's kind of on top of it, that's pretty bullish, and you may get a prolonged move higher for Link, at least coming back towards 8 and change, and maybe even more. So definitely one to keep our eye on. If it gets to low enough levels, I will be looking to possibly buy into it. $6, 6 and change is pretty attractive. I guess it's close to $5 for a swing trade would be ideal. It does depend on how it gets there. I would much prefer it to start a wedge, sort of downward wedge pattern kind of forming. That would definitely entice me to start taking a stab at it, and then adding on to it as it gets lower towards $5. That's my thinking right now. If it changes, of course, I'll let you know. Make sure that if you are in the swing trading service, you have all the alerts set up. That way you don't miss anything I do. And if you're not in the swing trading service, I think you should be. It's only $15, and we've only had one loss since pretty much the start of the year. So I think it's well worth it. Much too cheap in my opinion, but I don't mind keeping it that price, because it's exactly all the trades I'm taking. Okay, so you should definitely take a look at that service if you want to swing trade and not sit in front of the computer all day. Ethereum, we'll take a quick look at Ethereum. So Ethereum had a beautiful grind up. Even got past his daily support resistance level here, but could barely got past the median level and finally has given way. And now it's lost this daily level. Ethereum looks fairly weak. It looks fairly weak. Had a rising structure like everything else, but what's likely going to happen with Ethereum is it probably will eventually get back to 1700, but it's going to take quite a bit for it to get through. And if it starts failing here, we are having a potential bearish structure forming. I watch out for like a short-term head and shoulders pattern here. Yeah. So you could have something that's getting built here like that, and then if we do play that out, I guess the 1-to-1 will probably be around this pivot level here. Yeah. So this level at 1200, we'll say, is what we would probably see. If that's what forms. If it should break through this level, the next major level it's going to have trouble with is about 1850 to 1900. But that's an unlikely structure. It's an unlikely structure unless something happens in regards to Bitcoin and any unforeseen bids. Like this sort of structure is unlikely. It's more likely we do have a bear structure form here. Yeah. A revisit of at least 1300 is looking fairly decent. All right. That's all I want to go over for now. There's really nothing else I want to look at because there's just not much happening. It's been a lot more action just scalping for the most part. So if you want to go into those those scalping day trading session rooms, next week is it's going to be every day from 9 a.m. Eastern to either 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. Eastern, so about 1 to 2 hours every day, every weekday. And sometimes, honestly, sometimes I'm free, so I might come back later that same day for people who are in different time zones. So you may get another shot at being in the room while I live trade. And yeah, definitely come hang out since it is free for now. And if it's something you're interested in, you might want to know what you potentially will pay for. Okay. All right, everyone, remember, be patient, be vigilant, and be nimble. Love you guys. Take care. Bye.